Bitcoin has seen an absolutely heinous market sell-off here over the past several days. But right here, right now, are there signs in the chart beginning to form which may suggest a potential bounce back up towards the $9,000 region? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. What is going on, my friends? Today I'd like to discuss Bitcoin and the action we're seeing inside the chart right now. I'm noticing several very unique things going on, not only here inside the Bitcoin chart, but inside the altcoin charts as well. And I'd like to explore the possibility here of may this waterfall have ran out of steam, and are the bulls poised for a retest back up? And not only here with the technicals inside the chart, but I want to mix in some information that we have here as well, with new data coming out showing that there has been likely some manipulation in the Bitcoin price before these CME futures contracts have been expiring and other types of derivative contracts expiring. We see here as well today an estimated 37,000 Bitcoin options contracts are set to expire along with the CME futures contracts here today as well. So I'd like to mix this all together and look at this from a perspective of may the bulls be ready to come back in here, or do the bears look like they may be ready for some continued downside action? So as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up. All right, so we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice, this is not trading advice, these are only my own opinions, ideas, and speculative hypotheses on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. That being said, let's begin right here on the 4-hour time frame. Now here on the Bitcoin chart, what we saw was we had our immense sell-off, the waterfall right down. This action here should have been no surprise to anybody. Once we fell below all of this support here, the multi-month support, I don't know what else you could have expected besides a waterfall down. And the reason for this was, one, many bullish longs were going to have stop losses placed under here, which would result in more selling, and more short contracts would have momentum short orders placed in the book right below that level to get into a position upon the break of support and look for further downside action. Let's get this crypto. Now, for at least the time being, the bulls right now are trying to defend this level. We could see there was a failed hold right here. They tried to hold this level around 8,400. It failed. And right now they are trying again right here around 8,000 flat. Now this is getting interesting for me here, because what we have to understand is that we are in a range that historically has acted it wasn't a great support here, but the thing is that what we saw was there was resistance, a breakthrough, then it held as support, right? All inside this region. And when you look over here right now, this is where we're at again. The interesting thing here is that we are in between two of the Fibonacci retracements. I would have preferred to see this 0.5 hold as the support, but it didn't, and it broke through, which does make the next logical target here the 0.618 Fibonacci to the downside, and that currently for me is around 7,200. Now, what we have to understand here is that the market conditions right now on a RSI perspective are completely oversold. We are right now at the time of recording on the daily at a 19. 30 begins oversold. We are at a 19, ladies and gentlemen. And really, any time that we've been that low, we have seen a bounce to the upside. Of course, past performance is not indicative of future results, but you can see the trend here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at all the times we've gone into oversold conditions, right? And then look at all the times that it's just popped right back up into overbought almost directly thereafter. right? So on the daily RSI, I do see potential that this could be due for a bullish bounce. If we go over to the 4-hour RSI, this is where this starts to get interesting for me. Now I'm going to zoom out here for both the RSI chart and the price action, because I want you to notice two things here. We are seeing right now a tentative bullish divergence. See, the price action went low there and stuck in that low on the RSI. I also have a star there on the bottom. Then the price action went lower, but the RSI was higher, right? You guys can see this. We are diverging right here, right now. Does this mean that it has to be bullish? No, this can be negated, but the 4-hour RSI is still solidly in oversold conditions, right? Which, per the RSI indicator, may lead to a potential bounce out, right, back into neutral territory. And we're seeing that divergence there. It is a little bit nice to see from a bullish perspective there, in my opinion. Now, what I want to show you before we get any deeper in here is the fact that also here on the altcoin charts, let's look at some top alts just so you guys see this as well. We'll look at Litecoin briefly first. Litecoin, for me, I am seeing this divergence nearly just the same, right? You see on the 4-hour time frame, we are getting that same relative divergence there as Bitcoin. And we are sort of like Bitcoin as well. We are on an area of historic support confluence, right? Doesn't have to hold, but we are seeing right now that the conditions are such that if there was going to be a bounce, this may be a potential spot for it, right? Of course, it does not have to happen, but we're seeing that there is some sort of life from the bulls being shown in these areas. And if we drop below these, ladies and gentlemen, things could get very, very interesting. If we look here at Ethereum as well, just to quickly run through some of these top ones here, you guys can see it's very much just the same. They all look very similar, right, with the same divergences there on the 4-hour time frame. And if we now look here at the total cap, including altcoins and Bitcoin, you guys know this is almost the secret chart here. This is the one that if many people are not looking at it, I really think that they should. And if you haven't been, I think you should put this into your daily regimen now of analysis here to look at this, because this chart here, the total, includes Bitcoin and altcoins. And look where we are already, ladies and gentlemen. Ding, ding, ding. Chicken wings for dinner, tofu if you're vegan. We are already at that 0.618 golden Fibonacci retracement level. We are at the level here, which is the area where Bitcoin was right around 6,000, right? Where we were in our 68-day stagnation before our capitulation down to 3,000. The total cap, when you combine the alts and Bitcoin, is already back at this key level here, which for me means if we break through here, the next logical target is back to this cluster, right? And this cluster does have a lot of sentiment to it, right? When you look at it, old support, right? And old resistance here. I mean, this would be a beautiful pocket, right, to target for downside action. I mean, that is quite normal, to be honest, right? If we dropped into this region here, it just looks like a nice little pocket where we see old support, then new resistance, and if we dropped in here, it may be healthy. And for me, ladies and gentlemen, that when we go back to Bitcoin now, what we have to understand here is the fact that Bitcoin dropping to that level, the relative level would be all the way down here, the 786 Fibonacci. And that, my friends, is right around 5,400 USD. Now, that's a little too far ahead for me to be analyzing at this point in time, but you see what I'm saying, right? I'm liking that total market cap chart, including both Bitcoin and the alts, because it appears to be front-running the market right now. You see this, right? The structures of the charts look nearly identical, right? But when you compare them together, this chart's a little bit ahead of Bitcoin. Is this going to indicate what's going to happen to Bitcoin itself? That will have to be seen in the future, but right now I'm keeping my eye on it. And why I wanted to show you this here as well is at the RSI here on the 4-hour time frame. just the same as the others, is now beginning to show a divergence there as well, right? Just the same like the altcoins, but this one includes Bitcoin, okay? So for me right now, there is definitely a little bullish divergence going on here. As we all know, it does not have to play out, but if we're going to get a bounce, my friends, this appears like it should be the area that we could speculate upon a bounce coming. So now that we've covered the reasoning behind that, right? Let's discuss where the bounce may possibly take us. Is 9,000 possible? Let's take a deeper dive and really understand what's going on here. But if you are just tuning in now, don't forget to moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell. Let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. Sheesh. You guys should all know by now, right? The fact is that I was short from up here, right? I was in a long in here, right? Just because if we were going to get that move to the upside, what I wanted to do was be in a position that if we ripped up, I was going to be in a long to get this crypto to the upside. And then if we were to break down, I quickly wanted to switch over to a short position to catch the potential fallout here, of which I absolutely did. And you guys can see here, this was my VIP trade alert. Shout out to my VIPs. I was in a short position from 9,798. I wound up taking my profits all the way down here in the low $8,000 region. And as of right now, I am out of my short position. Sure, it could drop lower, but for me, with the indicators in the chart right now suggesting that potentially the bears are running out of a little bit of momentum here, and we may see a bounce before continuation down, I'm comfortable closing my short position. And right now, I am actually going to begin to speculate long, potentially on many different altcoins as well. Right now, I am speculating long on Bitcoin and Litecoin as well. I'm keeping my VIPs updated with my trades in real time. And if you'd like to see all of my trades in real time as I create my setups and look to get in new aggressive trade positions, my friends, I post it all for you in VIP around the clock. So this was an amazing trade here, epic. I couldn't be happier with the profits here. So again, shout out to my VIPs. I'm going to keep you updated with all of my new trades from here on forward with these divergences playing out, etc., etc. Now, let's mix this in here. We've got this article that came out here with some data from, let's see, what's the company here? What's the name here of the company? Arcane Research. They've come out now and they've said that they've been monitoring the price action before the CME contracts settle. And what they found is that 75% of the time, immediately before the CME issued their payouts, Bitcoin fell in price. So this is a little interesting for me here today because we've already had the drop off, right? But the CME contracts are closing today. They're settling today, right? So, 75% of the time here, per Arcane Research, they've seen that the price has fallen before this. But what I'm speculating upon now is, has the price already fallen before this, right? And is this going to be the green light here that with the bearish exhaustion now, these contracts are going to settle and then the bulls are going to come in and BART this thing back up? Right? We're already seeing a little divergence on the bottom. And for the time being, at least, it appears that the majority of the selling has ended for now. Of course, this can all change in the blink of an eye, right? This could just completely go down on another debacle, laser beam to the downside there. But for right now, the selling has apparently exhausted a little bit. We're seeing that we're now on this historic support confluence, and the RSIs are both completely in oversold conditions. Now mix this together here with this and the fact that these contracts plus 37,000 estimated other Bitcoin options contracts are set to expire today. I'm just looking at this from a perspective of, if this much sell pressure has already occurred and the move has already happened, generally, the market tends to do the opposite of the herd, right? The masses generally get wrecked. So right now, I feel like there's so much fear in the market, right? And this is all just a theory, ladies and gentlemen. This is completely speculative. The technicals is one thing, right? The technicals, I do see that there may be some exhaustion in the selling, right? Which could lead to a potential bounce. But above all that, when we look at this data here, that 75% of the time it dumps before they settle. And the fact that there's so many contracts settling today, plus the fact that the crypto fear and greed index here is it back in extremely fearful territory. Is this a time where, you know how the famous saying goes, right? I don't want to botch it, but I believe it's Warren Buffett. Be greedy when others are fearful, right? And be fearful when others are greedy. Is this one of those times where, you know, the average Joe traders in here are beginning to short now, thinking that Bitcoin is going to zero? Is this one of those moments? Well, we'll have to wait and see, but I surely, from my perspective here, think that everybody collectively now is under the impression here that we are back in a bear market, which I can't argue with. I cannot argue with this. I don't believe that this has to be, this bounce that I'm saying may occur. I'm still under the impression here that we are headed into a bear market potentially. I'm just talking about a short-term bounce, right? I'm not talking like we're going to bounce and go to the moon, right? For me, this market does look very bearish across the weekly and the daily. The moving averages are horrendous right now. We are currently under the 200-day. We are currently death crossing on other charts for the altcoins. I actually want to take a look here to see if we got any closer here on the total cap, including Bitcoin and the altcoins. Let's see here. Yeah, guys, look at this. The orange RSI here, or excuse me, the orange moving average. This is the 50, okay? And this teal one is the 200. We are getting very close to death crossing there as well. So for me right now, I am still pretty much bearish until proven otherwise on the macro structure of the market. But if the sell pressure is exhausted, and we've seen here that all these contracts are going to settle today and new contracts are going to open, are those contracts going to continue to open short? You see what I'm saying? For me, I mean, like I've stated, ladies and gentlemen, I'm speculating long right now with a tight stop loss, a high reward, low risk trade setup. If we drop down, I don't lose much. If we go up, I'm going to win a lot, right? This is what I talk about when I preach high reward, low risk. I've already posted my trade setups for my VIPs. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of potential opportunity here. And like I've stated, if you want to see all of my new future setups that I'm going to hopefully be taking many more aggressive trades right here, right now, if we do in fact get a heinous bounce to the upside, I will see you in VIP right now after this video. Let's get this crypto. But for me right now, what I'm seeing here, guys, is that this may be one of those times that the market is just now too overly fearful, and there may be a relief rally, a bounce, right? Doesn't mean that this has to be sustained. If we do find a bounce, it's the underbellies of these candles here, ladies and gentlemen, for me. This green box, right, which used to be support for me. Let's flip this over to red now so there's no confusion. And this, for me, ladies and gentlemen, will actually put the X right on it. This, for me, is the area of concern here. And that is my target range for a bounce, right? Which from the current price points is pretty healthy, up towards the $9,000 to $9,100 region. Now, like I've stated, gonna have to wait and see here. If this daily today closes under the 200, that's pretty brutal. Along with the weekly that we've already seen, I was showing it on yesterday's stream. The weekly now is for the first time in a long time underneath this 21 weekly moving average, which has been historically indicative of changing the market from bullish to bearish and bearish to bullish. And right now, if this weekly candle closes here below that 21 week moving average, this orange line, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be very difficult, in my opinion, for this market to really remain completely bullish. This may in fact just be one large market cycle here where we go all the way back down to the average, right? And I've already shown you that even to get down to this 786, which is around the $5,400 region, right? This would not be out of the realm of possibility, in my opinion, at all. It actually looked quite normal, right? If this was an exam, right, like a university exam, and you had to do a multiple choice question, and this area here, the 786, was a answer of, you know, what's a possible target that this could go down to with old confluence of support and resistance, and a Fibonacci confluence. I mean, look at what we're talking about here. This would definitely be an answer for a spot that would be correct. And that, my friends, is down, you know, below 6,000. So lots of stuff on the table here. Like I've stated, right now, you guys could see with this position that I actually ultimately went short on for immense gains. I was in a long and I switched to short as soon as I got the bearish confirmation. Right now, I'm speculating a little bit long right now, but I'm ready to switch to bearish again if I get that confirmation to come in. And right now I'm looking for more opportunities in other altcoins and in Bitcoin as well. So like I've stated, guys, the time is now. You should become a VIP right now if you want to see all of my trade setups, because the market is getting absolutely juicy. This is the time to shine right now. Today is the day. It's time to transform yourself from average Joe into savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. I'm trading this aggressively here right now. I truly do see potentially life-changing trading opportunity around every corner that I look right now, and the chart is getting absolutely insane. Watch for these developments on these moving averages as well. Things are really starting to heat up here, and I'm going to continue to trade them aggressively. So right now, guys, that's about all I can say in terms of if you want to see how I'm continuing to trade aggressively right now at this point of interest for me. I will see you in VIP right now after this video. Let me know what you think about this, guys, the price manipulation here. Leave me a comment down below. I will be reading the comments here today. Do you think that this manipulation, even though 75% of the time Arcane Research has found that the price drops, do you think that this drop has already been enough and that the new contracts are going to speculate long? Or do you think that the new contracts are going to open and continue to speculate down? Let me know what you think. For me right now, I am seeing the potential for a bounce, although, like I've stated, I have a hard time believing that this is going to turn around bullishly on a macro perspective. It just appears to me, ladies and gentlemen, that the chart right now is getting more and more bearish by the day, in my opinion, although we should all know relief rallies are normal in downtrends, right? Too much selling, trade sideways, you get a bounce, then trade sideways, sell off, etc., etc. This is how the markets work. Nothing just goes straight down or straight up for extended periods of time. There's generally going to be rallies all the way, right? Up and down. So right now, I'm not ruling that out of the equation. I'm going to be flipping my positions long and short as need be, and I'm going to continue to strategize to crush this market like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can to the best of my ability, day in and day out. And I'm going to keep you updated in VIP with every single trade I make, every setup that I create, every strategy that I formulate. I will be posting it for you in VIP. Do not get wrecked here. Please, ladies and gentlemen, do not be taking that trip to Wreck City. Today is the day. It's time to crush this market. It's time to transform yourself from average Joe into savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. I will see you all in VIP right now. If you could one last time, my friends, moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Share this video in your chats, share this video in your socials. I think many need to see the possibilities here of a potential bounce, especially with the price manipulation research that we've seen here, along with the contracts expiring here today. Estimated 37,000 option contracts and the CME futures contracts are settling today. Will this have an effect on the price? We'll just have to wait and see. Either way, I'm ready to trade this aggressively. I will keep you all updated with my trades here as I plan to crush the market in real time in VIP right now. I will see you all in VIP right now. And until next time, my friends, the Don has spoken. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.